Sorry to keep you waiting.
No, not at all. So nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Thank you for
likewise. How are
coming.
you?
Real talk, my goal is to ask you some questions you've never been asked before. I want to take a stroll through your mind. Ready to get vulnerable?
India's youngest action star. You came straight from the gym, didn't you?
I did. How do you know?
Yeah, because I know. It's like looking in the mirror, honestly, because I feel like I go to the gym sometimes too. So I was excited to talk to you because I thought we could trade tips on like working out. And
Okay.
I eat protein also.
Nice.
Yes.
You should.
Thank you. I've heard. All jokes aside, I hear you're a very disciplined person.
I try to be. I enjoy doing what I do. So if you call that discipline, then yeah,
Break it down for me. Like I follow you on Instagram. I see all your videos of you working really hard, of doing kicks that defy gravity, all these types of things. I want to know, what does it take to be you in terms of your physique and your athleticism?
I'm a creature of habit. So I like doing the same things again and again in routine. And I think consistency is something that is probably one of the easiest things to do, but at the same time, it's one of the most boring things to do. I think that's why it turns a lot of people off, and they keep looking for change and to make things interesting. But I think that when it truly gets boring is when it's working.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So do you do the same thing every day, morning routine?
I do. I have a fixed morning routine that I do. Is as soon as I wake up, I either roll onto my treadmill, which is right next to my bed, and I just keep running for about 35-40 minutes, and post that, then I train a lot of mobility stuff, a lot of flexibility stuff. So I keep my skill work for the AM. So that probably would consist of like my kickboxing or gymnastics, or every now and then I would do my dance sessions.
You dance?
I try, yeah. Sometimes at least. I'm not very good.
Get out of here.
Really, I'm okay.
Get out of here. You're amazing.
I don't know how to say this, but if you take me clubbing or something, then I'm probably the guy who's in the corner, or
Really?
who runs to the bathroom every time somebody says, okay, let's go to the floor now. So I'm that kind of a guy.
Can I ask you an honest question?
Yeah, please.
Why are you so into working out and looking a certain way and being a certain, like, is it solely for your career? If you had a different career, would you be as disciplined?
I think so. I've just been really drawn to and really obsessed about physicality, and to push the human body to its physical limits ever since I think I was 4 or 5 years old when I saw Bruce Lee's movie Enter the Dragon for the first time on television, and I knew back then that that's what I want to be like. That's who I want to be like. I've just been so obsessive in my approach to pushing myself physically, and the whole thought of anti-aging, the whole thought of defying logic and sort of trying to, I wouldn't say cheat death, but not deteriorate, or not sort of atrophy in any way.
And the reason I keep asking about this, I promise we're going to talk more about just working out, because you're so much more than that. You're a full human being, I know. But the reason I want to start with this is because I think when people think of you, they do associate your brand or who you are as this very strong action star, macho guy, can kick your ass, he poses with the shirt off. But I've actually learned that you're quite a vulnerable person. You're not, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you're not what I think we stereotypically think someone who's super macho and an action star would behave like.
I guess that's because I just channelize all my energy and all that restlessness into the stuff I do, really. And I think that's what sort of just centers me and sort of just keeps me calm in a way, and just not exactly in a Zen state, but just a little more composed in general in life. Yeah,
Would you say you're a vulnerable person?
I would say so. Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm a very insecure person.
You're insecure?
Yeah.
Then we have no hope. Then I have no hope.
No. I mean, that's
No,
just
talk
me.
to me about that though. Why do you say you're insecure?
I know change is constant, but I'm scared of change as well. I like to hold on to things. I like to hold on to what's mine. Constantly insecure about the way I look. For example, if I don't exercise for a day, I wake up the next morning looking at myself in the mirror and I'm like, what's happened? It's like, is this the end of the world? What's happening to me? I'm not looking the way I did yesterday, perhaps, or the 2 days ago, perhaps. So I'm a little obsessive in terms of uh, the whole physicality and the aesthetic that sort of I'm chasing. So that sort of insecurity drives me and pushes me. The fear of failing pushes me. You know, when a movie doesn't do well, for example, or yeah, if I'm critiqued a certain way. So it's just a lot of this is what sort of drives me. I'm motivated by fear, by insecurity, and that sort of just is my drive, I think, in life.
That's really honest of you to share. Thank you for sharing that because that is a really hard thing to admit.
Oh, okay.
It's a really hard thing to admit. That took me so long in my life to admit as well.
I genuinely think that this can be a huge plus or a huge boost or a huge strength if you can admit that. I think it just makes life a lot easier, and it just you need to channelize it the right way is what I believe in.
When you are in those moments, do you express those feelings to anyone? What do you do with those emotions?
I'm a very close person in general, and I internalize a lot of things. I self-reflect a lot. So it's mostly to myself. Every morning I wake up asking myself, so what is it that I'm going to do today to get better than I was yesterday? And before sleeping, if I don't answer that question, I really haven't had a productive day. Yeah.
Were you always like this? Were you always, you're describing yourself as insecure, vulnerable. Were you always like that for as long as you can remember?
More so after I sort of got into the show business and sort of got into the limelight, just because I'm just a lot more exposed to people's opinions and people's judgments, etc.
I always say it's us people who are insecure and who really need validation and who we're the worst people to be in the spotlight, and somehow we found ourselves here.
Validation is
So delicious.
that's everything.
It's like a cheat meal.
Cheat thrill, or yeah, cheat meal, cheap thrill, whatever
Yeah,
you call it. Yeah,
exactly. So when you were a kid then, do you feel like you were a bit more, talk to me, what kind of boy were you growing up?
Pretty much the same as what I am right now. Is very, very obsessed in wanting to be the best in school in terms of whatever sport I used to play. I'd always want to win every race, every competition. I was never very qualified academically, or rather, I didn't really give a shit about the academic part of it. And from a very young age, I thought that health was my biggest investment, and I thought that if you're healthy, you can do anything. And that's why I had that sort of awareness, that innate awareness about sort of keeping that as the forefront. And so I used to only go to school to play sports and to do stuff like that.
I heard that your dad once described you as a kid that you were serious like a saint, that you were a very serious kid.
I guess I wasn't very mischievous.
You weren't?
Yeah, I guess I was pretty easy for my parents to handle for the most part. It's not like I had very many friends as well. So I was not really into the usual teenage stuff. I didn't go to college because I got my first movie around that time. So post the 12th grade, I started prepping for my film. And that's pretty much how, I got lucky with my first film working, because I honestly never wanted to be an actor. I always wanted to be an athlete growing up. And other than cricket, there was not much scope for any other sport in our country at that point. I was lucky enough to be getting a lot of offers from a very young age, not only because of the whole nepotism factor and being my father's son, but also because I was sort of very unorthodox in terms of my personality and the way I looked, etc. So that sort of got me a little bit of attention. And then when the producers and directors could see that this kid comes with a special skill set as well, which is pretty unique to our industry. So I was lucky and I got a chance to express that talent and ability in my first film, and that sort of got me a little bit of attention, especially amongst the children. And I got really lucky with my the following I have in kids below 10 years old and stuff.
Yeah.
So that I really count that as a blessing.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question, and I might be wrong. Do you feel like you ever let yourself be a kid?
Sometimes, um, because honestly, with the things I do, it's like it takes me back to my childhood because I used to be crazy about stuff like this. I still am crazy about stuff like this. Uh, so in my head, at least, I believe that I'm a superhero. I think I'm Spider-Man in my head.
I
So
thought I was
that,
Superwoman, been there, done that.
yeah, exactly. So you can relate then. I mean, that's the child in me, and yeah, I like having that childlike imagination and that belief that you can do anything, that I can fly, I can run up the wall and flip off the wall.
I guess when you're so athletic and disciplined from such a young age, those are very masculine, I guess, stereotypically masculine qualities growing up. Did you ever feel like your personality and how you express your emotions had to follow that? Like growing up, did you cry often? Did you ever see your dad cry? Did you see your siblings cry? Like, what was that like?
My dad really never expressed he still doesn't express his emotions as much in front of his family. Uh, just because of the personality and the whole aura that he has. I think he doesn't express himself in that way. So sort of just watching him growing up, I sort of also bottled up all my emotions, and I wouldn't say it's a weakness, but tried not to show that side of myself as much. So it happens usually when I'm by myself and when I'm thinking a lot.
So thank you for admitting that. Yeah, because you've been pretty open about mental health. I feel like you've talked a lot about mental health and
Yeah,
anxiety.
I think that's definitely a very, very important thing to talk about, especially in today's day. For some reason, there's so many people who are sort of suffering from that.
I'm curious, has there ever been moments where you wanted to be vulnerable, or maybe you wanted to express your emotions, but the people around you can't accept that side of you because they have this idea of you?
Back when I was starting out my career, I think when my first movie look had sort of been revealed, I always wanted people to feel like, just because I'm my dad's son doesn't mean that everything just came easy to me. I mean, when the lights go off in the cinema hall, he's not holding my hand anymore. I definitely do believe that it is easier for somebody who comes from the same background to sort of have that recognition or that identity, or to get identified might be easier. On the other hand, there's double the pressure in terms of, you have to live up to the expectation.
I think a lot of, and I've been guilty of this too, so I'm fully calling myself out. I remember growing up, if I ever had a boyfriend, and I would get irritated if he would cry, or I would be like, oh, he's like such a crybaby.
Okay.
And I would judge him for that. And it wasn't until I like did the work to unlearn and learn things and grow older where I had to call myself out to be like, that's not okay. It's not okay to put men on this pedestal where they can't have emotions and they're not supposed to express those. That's part of the problem.
Right.
I always say the patriarchy harms everyone. It puts women, of course, in a tough spot, but it puts a lot of men in a tough spot. It makes them believe they have to be macho and tough and provide and they can't be vulnerable. And that's an unhealthy situation for them to be in. And that's why a lot of men have mental health issues, right? And so the reason I bring this up is because sometimes till this day, if some of my girlfriends come over and they're talking about a guy, if they say things like that, like, oh, like he's so emotional, I have to stop them to be like, that's not a bad thing. You want a man to be able to express his emotions and you want him to feel emotions. You don't want him to be closed off. You don't want that energy and anger to be not going out. And so I wonder, and I'm not going to pry into your dating life, but I wonder, like, of course we hear it's hard for men to be vulnerable with other men, but have women had the expectation of you where they expect you to also be macho and the provider?
Not really. I've been lucky in that sense. I think I take responsibility in being the provider of my family, though, and I like taking care of my team, the people who help me out. And I sort of credit whatever I am today. I don't really put that on myself. I credit my team, I credit my family.
That's good, and I'm happy, and that makes me happy that women aren't coming to you and being like,
No, yeah.
don't cry. Do you have a lot of female friends?
Female friends.
Yeah.
Back in school maybe, but as of now, not really.
Because they fall in love with you? Totally. Um, do you have a lot of male friends?
Male friends, no. I don't have a lot of friends.
Really?
Yeah, to be honest with you, yeah.
Why is that?
I think that's because I'm such a creature of habit, like I mentioned earlier. Yeah, that doesn't really allow me to sort of have much of a social life.
So I have a psychology degree, and I might use it for the very first time right now in my entire life. And I might be wrong. And so you said a few minutes ago that you're very motivated by fear, which I think is a really relatable thing for a lot of people. Do you think the not having friends thing is truly because you're a creature of routine, or is there a little element of fear there as well, of opening up to people or letting people in?
I never thought of it that way, honestly speaking. Of But in order to reach that phase, you have to really hang out with your friends. I mean, if I'm seeing one of my friends after a couple years of not seeing them, then I doubt that that would probably be a topic of conversation. I think it would just be a little more superficial, a little more chill, and a little more just easy. So I just feel that, like I said, I'm just so obsessed with doing what I do and with reaching my goals, etc. So that sort of just takes me away from that.
So then my follow-up question to that would be, do you feel lonely ever?
Do I feel lonely? No, because I constantly have people around me in what I do in my life and in my career. So there's a constant buzz. I In fact, it's the times where I'm not with anybody. Those are the times which sort of give me peace in a way. And I like solitude sometimes, just so I can sort of talk to myself and hear my inner voice and understand where I am at life and what I want and what's left.
You're a very introspective person. I really like, because I am as well. I'm a huge nerd I'm obsessed with journaling and growth and reflection. Like in my calendar every month, I have a monthly reflection.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I have a top of year reflection, have a night routine and morning routine. I'm very, very, this is what I do. I dig a little bit. I hope you don't mind. I like to dig.
Yeah.
For you, the human being you are, how do you take care of your mind? Like in the way you take care of your body, how do you take care of your mind? Do you go to therapy? Do you journal? Do you meditate? Tell me what your reflection process looks like.
I don't know if this makes sense to you, but my meditation is doing my physical activity. That sort of gets me in my flow state. So for example, if I'm on my treadmill and the first few minutes is like, oh man, why are we doing this? Like I want to get off right now. But then there's a phase where you sort of, that switches off and you switch into a very zoned in sort of what we call the flow state, and you're just a being right now, and you're just going and just blank out everything. I'm not panting anymore. I'm just very focused, and I start thinking about the things of you know why I started in the first place. What is my objective? What is my purpose? What are my goals? I start thinking of that, and sort of I just get into that zone then.
That
Oh,
is a
let's
form of
slow down.
meditation
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
kind of are.
Lose yourself.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I guess you could say for me that's my meditation. That's my therapy. That's
Wow.
yeah.
Have you ever been to therapy? Have you ever had a therapist?
No, but I'm actually planning on going to a therapist right now because I have aerophobia, fear of flying.
Yeah, yeah.
So I remember a couple of years ago I was on a very turbulent flight, and I don't have control over a turbulent flight. What do I do? So that ever since that flight, I've just been really, every time I have to board a flight, I have anxiety a couple days prior. And for some reason, I'm still not able to get over that. I mean, the pilots, there's a statistic saying that flying is the safest means of transport. And, I've spoken to so many pilots, and they just said, just turbulence is nothing but just bumpy roads. Imagine that, that's the analogy they keep giving. But who's going to tell my mind that, when it happens, it's a different story
Your
altogether.
nervous system is
Yeah,
separate. Your
just-
nervous system is doing its own thing.
So I wish I had control over that. That's the only thing. But I'm planning to see a therapist for that, and hopefully I can
lovely.
get over that. Yeah.
I love that. That's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
When you see a therapist for that, do you think you would ever, and whatever your answer is totally fine, do you think you would ever talk to a therapist about everything you told me about feeling insecure or being motivated by fear? Or would you ever talk to a therapist about that?
Yeah, if that would help me get over this phobia, then yeah, why not?
Only if it'll help you get over the phobia.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. I like controlling every part of my body. I like the fact that I'm aware of what I'm doing. Yeah.
Do you try to control little decisions in your day aside from your body? Do you feel like you find yourself overthinking sometimes about small decisions?
Yeah. And sometimes it's really, really frustrating because I'm so indecisive at times as well. So
Like indecisive about what? Small things like what to eat, what to watch, small
exactly,
things like that?
just the smallest things, and sort of how to schedule sort of my day so that I can, maximize my potential.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a small thing that I do. I told you I'm a nerd, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So every day I have the same things in my pocket. Always, every single day. One is a Listerine strip. Okay, in case there's someone hot nearby. 2 is just my chapstick.
Okay.
3 is a hair tie. 4 is a dye. It's because
To decide what.
I really struggle with being a control freak. And I feel like I have to control every small decision in my life. And I ruminate about it. So I work I work on this a lot in therapy. And so now if there's a decision that I can teach myself that, hey, you can let go of control and everything will be fine. Because I've learned that control is your nervous system is convincing you that if you do control things, you're safe. But that's actually a delusion.
Okay.
Even if you control things, doesn't mean you're safe, as we see. So if I have a small decision, I just roll the die, basically.
Okay, interesting.
So for example, if it's like, should I watch this movie or this movie? This is odd, this is even, and I roll it. And I just do it with a die. And another thing the die does is if you have a big decision and you don't know what the right answer is, roll it. And if you feel disappointment, you'll know what the answer is.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But I think you are a really open person. I really enjoy that about you because I think not enough people, and especially I'll say not enough men, are open in that way, which I'm really appreciating.
Great, thank you.
I know, I'm
Thank
really
you.
appreciating it. You're not married, right?
No,
No. Okay. Do you want to get married?
not right now.
Maybe in the future one day?
Eventually, maybe, yeah. I never really thought about marriage for some reason, just because I don't mean this in a wrong way, but I feel I'm too selfish for marriage right now.
Hey, that is a really respectable thing to say.
Yeah, okay.
I always say that people should be honest about that.
Okay, so
Yeah, you're too selfish.
yeah, I'm a little too selfish, and I think that
You're married to your treadmill. That's abundantly
exactly
clear.
the things I do, the things I do are really time consuming. I think I wouldn't be able to give that time to my better half.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, right now I have kids, I'm way too selfish. I want to eat when I want to eat. I want to travel when I want to travel. I want to sleep when I want to sleep. I would make a bad parent or bad partner right now.
Right.
Like that's just what it is. And I think it's important to be honest about
Yeah,
that.
I think that's the responsible thing to do, because you don't want to get into something and then regret it later, and make somebody else's life miserable because of you.
When it comes to partnership, have you ever visualized like what does an ideal partnership look like to you?
I have to do what I do to keep us going. Do you understand that, what I do is really time consuming, and my nature is such where, I'm all or nothing. I'm obsessive, I'm driven. If you're with me on that ride, if you can support me, and if you can be with me by my side while I sort of do that, great. That I think, so I think just having an understanding of one another, I think that's really important.
I obviously have follow-up questions. What if your partner also has goals and ambitions? Meaning,
I would love to support in whatever way I could.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So I think
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
So I think it's more that it's a mutual support in the sense of like, would you be against a partner that also was like, okay, that's fine, you go do that. I have this thing that I'm really dedicated to.
Go for it. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm going to spend my time and you're not going to get a majority of my time either. Like, is that
That I could completely relate to that. But if you're saying we're gonna have kids and we're gonna have family, that's unacceptable then.
think you want clear expectations?
Yes.
Yes.
I just don't want any confusion, and I don't want to regret anything, or I don't want her to regret anything eventually, you know what I mean? Because this is what it is. I mean, and at the end of the day, it's just, we're a unit, we're a team, right? So let's look at the bigger picture.
Let's say your wife came to you and was like, I have this big movie I got to do and I got to train for, and I'm going to be really busy doing that. You'd be okay with that?
Yeah, why not? I mean, if we're, like I said again, if we don't have an extra responsibilities in the middle, then why not? But if we do, then I mean, these are things that you need to talk about beforehand,
Yeah.
right?
I think it's the way it can be summarized is often we're not encouraged to talk about our individual ambitions before marriage because I think especially as brown kids, we're convinced that there is a linear path you have to do. You get married, you have kids, this is what it looks like, then all your responsibilities are about the kids and about the
Right.
family. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, what you're saying is it's not even so much about that you won't be equals. I think two people can be equal. I think what you're saying is that everyone's ambition has to be respected. Since you're so open and since you're so awesome, I want to play a little game with you.
Okay.
Shall we?
Okay, let's go.
So I'm going to give us a prompt, and we just write our one word or short answer on this. Don't reveal it. We'll reveal it at the same time, yeah?
Okay.
The first one is, the internet says I'm the best at. So what does the internet say you're the best at? Ready? 1, 2, 3. What even is that? What is
I don't know. It's a question mark.
I put dancing.
Oh, okay, nice. I haven't Googled myself like that.
Interesting. Not as vain as me. Fine. Okay, next prompt. The most important quality in a partner is... Ready? You look a little nervous.
I am.
Okay,
I don't use
1,
shit for this,
2,
but I think I mentioned
3.
this.
Understanding, reliability. Look at the little dot on your eye. It's so cute.
Is it?
Yeah. Talk to me about understanding. Because you said you
'Cause
want them
we-
to understand your career,
Yes,
your
exactly.
ambitions.
Just so we have the understanding
Yeah,
that
yeah.
it probably won't be as hunky-dory and won't be as...
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I feel like you're discrediting yourself. I really think that you can find a partner that is very understanding as long as you understand them too and it's mutual. That exists. I know lots of women that are like, totally, I'd support a man's career if he supports mine.
Oh, okay.
As long as it goes both ways.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think this is a hard thing you're looking for. I'm visualizing it for
I
you.
should look harder then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to leave the gym to find the person. That's the problem. Okay. One thing we should stop judging women for. One, 2, 3. You don't know what's pretty. Wow. You're a smart guy. I put existing because we literally judge women for every single thing. And I just think that they should be able to exist. But that's good too. They don't ask. I'm not going to lie. When you were on your way here and I heard that you came from the gym, I thought, I wish so badly I could come straight from the gym and go to an interview. But this takes 2 hours, 2 full hours to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's hard to believe.
You see, more of that language when you're talking to a girl. That's good. More of that. Okay. My biggest strength is, so your biggest strength.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Mom, Dad. That's so desi of you. Way to make me look like a horrible child.
Okay.
I put hardworking. But actually, this is also Mom, Dad.
It is mom,
Hard-
dad, though, yeah.
I will say, I think I'm really hardworking. Whether it's my job, whether it's being kind, to whatever it is, I work really, really hard. And I'm proud of that. But that's the same. I get that from Mom and Dad. How long does it take you to get ready for a red carpet?
Oh, okay. That's easy.
That's easy?
Yeah.
Mm.
Done.
Okay, hold. 1, 2, 3. 10 minutes. 3 hours. That's 2 hours hair and makeup, 1 hour for changing, 1 hour for just tomfoolery.
But you've got such nice long hair and...
Do you think
So, yeah.
do you think I wake up
That's
like
fine.
this? You think I wake up like this? But this right here, but this is why it's hard for women. This is the expectation for women. You know what I mean? 10 minutes. Wow. My glam team doesn't even set up in 10 minutes.
Well, that's because you put in effort, right? I don't put in that effort.
No, it's because society allows you to not put in effort. Okay, next.
Fair enough.
You're into fashion. I know you're a fashion guy. Fashion trend you wish would come back. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Bell bottoms. Oh yeah, those are good. Oversized everything. I always want to be comfortable. I want to wear very large clothes all the time with pockets.
Nice.
As a woman, all I want is pockets.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, my demands are simple. Just pockets
Fair, yeah.
that can fit things
Fair enough.
that are real.
Practical makes
Yeah.
sense. It was really educational, actually.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Tell me
Thank you for
why.
the tips, especially that dye thing. I'm gonna use
Yeah,
that. Yeah, for
I have a
sure.
lot more of those came from. I'm really,
That's
really
amazing.
big
I'm gonna
on.
trouble you for that.
I have a ton more things. There's a few things you said actually where I was like, even after when we're off camera, I'll tell you. But I don't have it all figured out. But how you feel about your body, how you're like every day I want to wake up and see how I can push my body. I'm like that with my mind.
Nice.
I really do. I'm really just like, how can I grow? How can I learn to accept more? How can I challenge the things I think are real? That's why I like to have these conversations, because I think too much in the world right now, we're very right, wrong, black, white, judge this person, cancel this person. And I don't think that's the way to progress. I don't think that's the way to solve things. I think that the best conversations are where it's like, hey, you said this and I said this, and where can we meet in the middle, and where can I learn from you, and where can
Right.
you learn from me? And that's what I think what it's all about. And I think we're
Give and
missing
take.
that.
Yeah,
Exactly,
absolutely.
give
Yeah.
and take. So I really believe that. Thank you so much for being on Shameless. I
Thank
have
you
to
for having
you've been
me.
so open and honest.
I tried.
And I do think it's important, especially for everyone, but especially for the young boys and men watching, that you can be an action star and you can be buff and have an 18 pack and be like this, but still be open and vulnerable and express your emotions.
Thanks
And
to you. I think you brought that side out. So thank you.
okay, we can cut. Yep. All right, Tiger, tell the people, why should they subscribe to this channel?
They should, because there's a very honest conversation that we just had, and I think Lily brought a side out of me that I don't think very many people know. So thank you, Lily.
I love thank you. And make sure you like and make sure you comment, baby, and stay tuned for the next episode.